These men are not professionals. They are still working on technical difficulties. You have been warned.
Whoa, here they come! Welcome to the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show. Two men, a rock singer, self-confessed troglodyte, and a man of the law, discuss life in its entirety, covering everything from rock, movies, comedy, sports, current events, and maybe even a recipe or two. Who knows? This unlikely duo will want to crawl in your ear and make their thoughts known. Welcome to the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show! It's time to defund all the idiots. Well, we're back to green, the brown, blue. Do us right, how about you? The world's crazy, people are full of shit. It's time to defund all the idiots. You all law enforcement dead and gone, dancing in a circle, singing kumbaya. When somebody breaks in your house and checks the car, there's no one to help you and no one to call. There's no law enforcement around. It's a matter of time, you won't recognize your town. Murder and plunder and thieves everywhere, leaving good, hard-working Americans in despair. We're back in green, or brown, or blue. Do us right, baby, how about you? World's crazy people full of shit. It's time to defund all the idiots. It's time to defund all the idiots. I'm not sorry I hurt your feelings. The truth is what it is. You can live in your fantasy world, and it will end when we defund all these idiots. Defund all the idiots. I'm sick of this shit. Defund all the idiots. Defund all the idiots. Defund all the idiots.
All right, welcome to the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show. We're going to celebrate a couple great people today. We got Kevin Conroy, which is the voice of Batman, and has been the voice of Batman since 1991. Just amazing life. He died, unfortunately, the 10th of this month. His birthday was on the 30th, I believe. And so he just was amazing, and we'll get more into it. And I'm wearing this in respect for the Batman, Kevin Conroy. But we also lost a wonderful comedian, Gallagher, and we'll get into that too. Again, we are the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show, and I want to say hi to my partner and good friend, 5-0. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you today?
I am a little flustered. Putting a show together like this is a lot of work when you just have two people doing it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to be real upfront and honest with you. We basically have one person doing this show.
Who is it?
And it's you.
No.
I mean,
I listen, and I'm fine. I'm humbled by it, but I just know that, this is important to me.
This guy, he's an unsung hero when it comes to this stuff. He's done all the technical aspects, the audio aspects, the visuals, everything that has been done here is by this guy right here, and I can't appreciate that enough. I don't have the technical knowledge when it comes to computers to be able to do any of this stuff. You know, there are times where I've tried to jump in and help, And it's just it becomes a big dumpster fire when I try
It's
to
been
do
a
that.
big plate of spaghetti.
It has been a big plate of spaghetti. You're not wrong.
But you know what? You do things behind the scenes. All this. Honestly, it costs a lot of money to do what we're doing. And I've already had a lot of stuff and put a lot into this, and he really helped improve the show and bring things and assets to the show that really helped what we're doing. So again, I know we're kind of like this is a bro love session, but you know what? It's all good, man. We're here to take care of each other, and me and him, we get along like stupid good.
Very well.
Again, I met this guy on Craigslist. I mean, you get old furniture. You can buy all kinds of crazy services or get murdered. And I found a great partner through an ad I put out, and here we are. So we're going to move forward, and let's talk about Gallagher. Gallagher's been just a wonderful comedian for so many years, and God bless him. And, there's a lot of, if you go to Wikipedia, you can learn a lot about everybody. It's crazy. They have so much stuff in there. And he had actually, part of his show at one point was done by his twin brother. He stepped back and said, "Hey, I need a break." And basically, he let his twin brother do it for a while. And he's always taking care of his family and this and that. And no one's perfect. He's had, some issues where people were pointing out some of his, his comedy was a little bit racy or racist when he had discussed, he discussed some Spanish and Mexican jokes that were funny and observational. And that's a funny thing about comedy nowadays, man. Everyone's got to wear, kick gloves and mittens and be bubble wrapped with their thoughts. I mean, if it's hateful, I get that. But if it's fun and it's true and it's observational, you got to let it go a little bit. What do you think about that, 5-0?
I agree with that. But you consider the fact, too, that Gallagher come from an era where you have your other comedians like your Eddie Murphys, your Red Fox. Red Fox
Jesus.
was, oh, my gosh, Red Fox, George Carlin. These guys put out some phenomenal comedy, and nobody got upset about it. They understood that it was just that. It was observational comedy, just like you said, and everybody was able to overcome that and just come together and enjoy the show.
Right. And that's the important thing. Folks, life is short. Enjoy the show. Be good to each other. And really, you know what? Let things go. Laugh at yourself. Don't be so harsh on people. I feel bad for comedians. Even in this show, I feel, and we have discussions before we go on, like, what should we say? What can we say? How, if we say something funny, will we get canceled for it? If we speak our true mind, our true heart, our true thoughts, will we get canceled? Or will people be aggressive and try to tear us down? Yes, they will. That it will always happen, but you have to stick to your guns when it comes to certain things. If your truity and your heart and your mind is loving and considerate, you should be able to laugh at yourself, and you should be able to laugh at other people as well. So with that, this is a man that brought so much laughter to so many people. Let's take a second and watch some Gallagher.
It's America. It's American to be pissed off.
Yeah, it is.
That's how this country was founded, not by complacent people that was satisfied with England.
Yeah, fuck that. I always wonder why that stick was in his hat. I thought it was a knife.
I did not come
I
here
never
tonight
did
to
even
make you laugh. I
realize
came here to sell you something. I want you to pay particular attention. Because the amazing Master Tool Corporation, a subsidiary of Fly By Night Industries, has entrusted me, to show you the handiest and
How does
dandiest
he
kitchen
do
tool you've
that?
ever seen. And don't you want to know how it works?
I would love to know.
He
that.
can speak so fast, he should do disclaimers for, like, auto
Then what do you do, gang?
commercials,
It's
man.
not a
Attorney.
slicer, it's not a dicer, it's not a chopper and a hopper. What in the hell could it possibly be?
What could it be?
Oh my goodness.
It is sledge-o-matic.
Hammer time. The very first.
What is it?
Oh my God.
Now, I've never been to a Gallagher show, but if
That's
you
a
were
fruit money shot right there.
If you were ever, there's a salad.
Tossed in the air, baby.
To be in the first few rows of a show like that, oh my God.
Well, at one point they were giving out the biscuit. They were giving out that so people would have protection. Because I heard early on people complained about the show because they had no idea what was going to happen, and rightfully so.
Understandably, sure.
It doesn't say on the ticket you're going to get some stains on your clothes.
Pound cake. I see what he did there.
I guess it does.
Oh my God! The first ever mixer and juicer.
You want that cheeseburger to go?
Oh yes, I do. Please.
Kill for a cheeseburger.
Oh.
It's gone.
His Crayola is rolling off
Let's
stage.
make
I was
it
just
the
going to ask
last
you if that's a
half of
big-ass
toothpaste.
crayon.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with that. AIM. Look at that. The toothpaste is named AIM.
That
Wow.
dates this
I don't
clip.
even think they have that anymore.
I don't
That's
think
very
so.
dated.
Looked like he aimed it just
Oh
fine.
my goodness! Now wasn't that fun, folks? Oh, I took away, but he was born on July 24th, 1946, and died November 11th, 2022. One day after our next celebrity you want to talk about, which is Kevin Conroy. But we'll get back to him. My goodness, and I'll tell you what, he was such a funny man. Gallagher. My dad used to sit. My dad, I always worshiped my father, and I think most boys and children worship their dads and love their mothers, and I would see him watch these specials on HBO back when HBO had that little mini scene where the camera came in. It was all models and everything, and HBO. It was so wonderful. I just remember those moments so fondly, and I knew how much this really brought him joy. Gallagher brought a lot of people joy, and again, he was what the Wizard of what weird.
So he was the self-proclaimed Wizard of Odd.
Oh, that's right.
The
Wizard of Odd.
yeah.
He was Wizard of Odd, and he
And
was
it's
just
fitting. It was fitting for him.
yeah, and he was smart. He was sharp, and he was he had a lot of social commentary, and almost like George Carlin. I mean, he's funny, but he got in the very fabric of language and words and the sociological makeup in which the current country or world was presiding in at that time, and he really took it to another level and helped us kind of look at some ludicrous aspect of humanity and how we lived it. But
if you remember, towards the end of George Carlin's show, he had one message. What was his message? That we're all human.
Don't do meth.
He had two messages. Scratch that. But his main theme was that we're all human.
Yes, right. We are, and it's a shame that we've been driven by the media and certain aspects of life, political aspects of life, to divide us. Man, my goodness. I don't have anything really prepared for Coolio. Like, Coolio was awesome, man. He died recently as well, and man, he went through the whole gambit of being, growing up in a unprivileged situation, and becoming, a kind of a gangster, and going through all these aspects where he was doing illegal activity. But he woke up one day and just realized that's not important. And, the funny thing, anytime I've ever talked to somebody that's got out of gangs, that's like gone beyond it, they feel stupid for even being in it, realizing the truth of what life should be, and that's loving each other. We're all human beings, and we have to find a way to get along. I think that's a good message. What do you think?
I would agree with that. Now, you mentioned that you've had the opportunity to talk to people out of gangs. You've had quite a bit of experience, not necessarily in gangs, obviously, but just being around those people. What are their sentiments? What are their sentiments while they're still in the gangs? Are they? Is it a situation where you see a lot of people that want to get out, or are they content with where they're at?
Well, it just depends. And folks, we've got a law enforcement officer right here, of 20 plus years, and so he's seen things that we can't even imagine. He's a social, like, sweeper and janitor of our bullshit, and everyone that works in law enforcement, they've dealt with a lot of things. So I think that's a good question for you, as well as, I mean, I've known some people I mean, I grew up in San Diego. I grew up like close to the border. There's a lot of drug activity. There's a lot of gang. There's a lot of biker activity. There's a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stories in my life, but anyone that I've known that have been young and into it, they were all about it.
Sure.
They just didn't have the
Sure.
experience to say, hey, this is not right. This is not what we should be doing. I know we digress a little bit, but, we were talking about Coolio and what he went through. And
Right.
I think the biggest message is that we're kind of missing the message. Mostly we're missing the fact that we're not connecting anymore. We're finding more ways to divide and not connect. And I find that to be very sad as a person. I feel that as humans, we are connected more than we'll ever know. And we have this universal sinew that connects us, these molecules that are floating around that we're part of. We just have this magic, and we forget how to tap into that magic and love one another, and then learn from each other in the best way possible. And this is, like I said, this show is hopefully about inspiration, love, artistry, and learning how to get along better. For me too, it's always a journey. We don't want that to happen in the background. That's what's happening in everyone's mind. A big nuclear explosion. We need to calm down and love each other. So once again, I want to know, 5-0, you've
Sir.
had some experiences with that aspect. Let's get to that really quick, and then we can get back into Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like what you said there at the beginning. Is when they're younger, they seem to be all about it. Once they start to, for lack of a better word, mature a little bit, and they realize that living life is not looking over your shoulder, wondering who's going to kill you when you're not looking, or why the police are following me, or whatever the case may be. I think when they mature and they understand that that's not a life, is when they start to really want to get out. Some of them are too scared. They think they're going to be killed or hurt or whatever by the gang.
There's
if they try.
repercussions to
Right,
all
the repercussions,
actions.
right. But then you've also, and just like you said, you've met people who've gotten out of them and they've gone on to be successful, as have I. And I think that's really the message behind it, is that you can still be successful with a tainted past, so to speak.
Yes, and I know we digressed a little bit from the focus of what we're trying to do today. But when we talked about Coolio, he was one of those people, and we don't have anything prepared for him. And it's been a while, and so is the Kevin Conroy and the Gallagher stuff. It's been almost 2 weeks, but I still it's important to me. I want to touch on it. And I'm just thankful for what they brought to this life. If you could bring art and love to this life, and you can affect someone in a positive way, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something that's worth cherishing and celebrating? And I'll tell you right now, life is too short. We are here for that amount of time, and
That's it.
how we choose
That's
to
it.
use it and treat each other is paramount. So, without further ado, let's talk about the voice of I Am.
Batman.
Listen, hey, Warner Brothers, we got your replacement right here. We got him right there. So let's go ahead and take a second. First of all, we're going to get our background right up in the hizzy and get some Batman up in here.
There you go.
So,
I like that. That
dude,
looks
such
good.
a stud.
good.
A billionaire. Okay, a billionaire with all the time on his hands can create what he wants. We all connected to that
Absolutely.
because not the billionaire part, but he was a person. He didn't have mystical powers. He worked on everything, and part of his powers was the anguish he had for losing his parents. And then he transferred that into how's my city living? How's my city currently? How healthy is it? Is there, and all those things made him want to be a superhero within his system. And he worked hard. He took classes. He did judo, and he worked out. He ate good, and he came up with all these different awesome mechanical aspects to really, elevate his ability. And one thing that you can do as a human, you can kind of really connect with that. Not all of us can, connect with Aquaman. You know, you can't breathe underwater. Not all of us can fly like Superman, but you know, we can make a grappling hook. We can do certain things that we identify as a earthbound human, a fallible human that can really, like, oh my God, I feel that I could maybe be that with the financing, of course. But so what's your thoughts on Batman? How did it affect your life, and was it something important in your childhood?
It was definitely something important in my childhood. I mean, you know, the thing was, you'd get up in the morning before school and Batman would be on. You'd watch Batman shows, and then Saturday morning cartoons, of course, you had Batman again. And it's just what you said. He was essentially, for minus the billionaire stuff, he was essentially a normal person. And he had the heart and the drive to help others in his community. And that's what he did. And he put all of his time and effort into doing that. And he did it very, very successfully. And essentially, that could be any one of us with the funding.
With the right funding. Now, as a law enforcement officer, have you ever wished to have that utility belt to get a batarang to well, I guess you got the taser gun now. but I mean, he had so many different implements at his disposal to stop and thwart crime.
Right.
But I mean, hell, you know, honestly, I have to say this, man. Law enforcement officers are they're kind of like Batman, and you know, good, bad, evil. There's, once again, we're going to get into law enforcement a little bit more in another show, and my thoughts on it. And I respect law enforcement. I respect military and what they do, but I also want to make sure there's the right people in the right jobs and right positions that have the right mindset and the right understanding of the community needs, and don't have anger and semantics that come in and change their job.
Definitely.
And how they treat their job. And that's got to be hard, once again. And even with Batman, I mean, he never killed anybody that he wanted to. He never wanted to kill anybody. But sometimes he had to make those hard choices, and he had to do something that maybe was against, you know, his philosophy. And he was he was deep in philosophy as well. He had his own thought process. From what I know, from what I've, watched, read in comics, the movies, back to Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom, Michael Keaton is Batman? Are you kidding me? And then you saw the first couple of promotional trailers and pictures put out. We're like, okay. And then he did a great job. But again, let's get to who we're talking about today, and that is Kevin Conroy. And he was just an amazing voice for Batman since 1991, and he died this month on November 10th. And man, what a great loss! What a great voice. But Warner Brothers, once again, I think I have someone that would love to try out for that position. A little bit of coaching, I think he'll be there. So let's go ahead and take a second and enjoy everything that is Kevin Conroy.
I'm Kevin Conroy. I've been playing the voice of Batman since 1991 for 29 years.
Joker's opened every cell
Again,
in
folks,
Arkham.
This is not our footage.
It started
from the
with
internet,
Batman the Animated Series,
we just
and
appreciate
then
it so much. We
the
wanted to
Adventures of
share it
Batman
with
and
you.
Robin, and then came the Justice League, Batman Beyond, and in the interim there was Mask of the Phantasm, Sub-Zero, Killing Joke. I would like to claim that I have been the only voice of Batman for any animated show, but I've been doing it the longest of anybody, and I've been the one that's sort of referred to as the animated voice.
Come into the light.
I was a New York theater actor. I studied at Juilliard, and the people I worked with were Robin Williams, Kelsey Grammer, Harriet Harris, Francis Conroy. I did Broadway, off-Broadway, a lot of classics, Shakespeare, the Greeks.
Address your love and might to honor Helen.
And so when my agent told me they were doing this new animated Batman show, The only thing I knew about Batman was the Adam West show. I didn't even know it had never been an animated show. I was that naive to it. And so when I was first auditioning for the role, the director described it as this very dark, noir character. And I went to exactly what I know, which is the theater. And so I used my imagination
crazy,
to fill
man.
that
I mean,
out. And for me,
obviously he came
with
from
my
a
voice,
decently privileged
try to
background to be a
create
Juilliard,
a dark, gritty,
he had the
filthy
talent.
New York
Yes.
street.
It doesn't matter your
So
background.
once
It
I
matters
had
your
come up
talent.
with this voice
And,
in the recording studio,
and a
everything got
good-looking
really
fellow as
still
well, by
in
the
there.
way.
And I thought, oh, I just screwed up. I have so blown this. And then the casting director came running inside and she said, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Good
Joker.
for him, man.
Where did he go?
Completely changed his
My
life.
favorite
from that day forward.
episodes of any of the shows are the ones that deal with the complexity of the man, of Bruce Wayne. Perchance to Dream is a wonderful episode where he's drugged and he goes back into his childhood and he deals with his father. So I was the voice of Batman and Bruce Wayne, and then I was drugged Batman, and then I was adolescent Bruce Wayne, and I was Thomas Wayne, my father. So in the one episode, I did 5 voices.
That is-
so any
what a-
episode that dealt
what a
with
mind
that
trip right there. We all have our
psychology
demons.
that makes up Batman, I love.
You know what's going on. This is a dream. Tell me where it is.
But that's
Voicing
Yeah, listen to
Batman
that.
for
That's
29
just
years
talent.
has
Listen
been an
to that
extraordinary
grit.
experience because it evolved from being an acting job to being kind of the embodiment of a cultural touchstone
Yes,
for a lot
you're
of people.
special to so
People
many
come up
people,
to me
Kevin.
all the time and just want to grab me and hug me because they know me.
Why not?
I've shared my deepest emotional life with them through my performance and through my voice.
And God
So
bless you for
the
it,
advice
man.
I would give to the next person who comes along to voice Batman is don't, because I'm still here. No, I'm just kidding.
We
I'm just
wish
kidding.
you were still here, Kevin.
such a talent.
Oh, Kevin Conroy, bat signal on 11/30/1955 and off 11/10/2022, just 20 days short of his birthday. What an amazing, amazing guy. I mean, and listen, what a great life he lived. I mean, there's certain people like William Shatner and people like okay, anyone that goes to Comic-Con that's been doing it for a long time, you're just so loved by so many people, and it's insane that the privilege that you have to be part of that franchise and the respect and such grace that he has taken on throughout his history as the voice of Batman. He's been such a great representative, and so many people are so connected. And for me personally, man, I love the video games. I'm still trying to finish the last one. Well, I think it's the last one, but it's crazy how talented some people are and how some people are meant for a certain position in life, and they get lucky enough to fall into that. Even like during his interview, he was in the sound booth. He wasn't sure where he was going. I mean, mentally and physically, in his voice, he's a great actor, and he was trained at Juilliard, so he had chops, and he didn't know. I mean, sometimes you don't know. You feel like within yourself, but how's that going to translate to other people? Will they be receptive of it? But man, when everyone was quiet, he was so worried about, did he do a good job? And that silence was a pause of just understanding of how great that moment was, not for just him, the franchise, the producer, the sound guy. They all said, this is the guy. This is our Batman.
Absolutely.
And so, man, again, Mr. Kevin Conroy, you were just amazing, and God bless you. And I hope you're up there with all the greats and you're enjoying your love and your life. And once again, very, very thankful. So we're going to get back to a little voiceover, tryout for our buddy here, 5-0. I am Batman.
Let me get ready for this.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try. I don't get that deep. Go ahead.
I am Batman.
Jesus. I'm I'm fearful. I mean, I'm not a criminal, but you still make me nervous.
I can get my point across when I need to.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I do have I have a question for you, Trog. I have a question.
Okay, question away, my friend.
Do you still have your Batman underoos?
Oh, how did you know?
Oh, I felt it.
Oh, do you remember underoos? They even had female underoos. They had
Wonder Woman.
Oh my God,
Wonder Woman.
Oh, I was just gonna go there. You sucked it right out of my
Yeah.
mouth and my brain.
Yeah.
Yes, the Wonder Woman underoos.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness, so awesome. And I literally, I've been to like sleepovers and stuff, and then girls were wearing their underoos and this and that, and it was so fun, and we'd play, and we'd make, you put sheets over tables and stuff and have like our little mini bat cave or whatever. It was such a wonderful moment. And remember those Halloween costumes that had the rubber band?
Yes.
See, most of you people don't know that now. Younger generation, you didn't know the awesomeness and the sadness of the Kiss, the Spider-Man, the Batman plastic mask that was held on by the back of your head by a rubber band that would break, and you'd have to creatively figure that out.
Couldn't see anything out of those things. Couldn't breathe.
Yeah, and if you're poor, you were going to use it the next year.
Absolutely.
It wasn't
Absolutely.
a one-year deal. You're going to use it again. You were going to use it again. And I remember trying to pluck up the staple and try to get it underneath and tie a knot, and then your mask, would crack, and you'd have to put tape on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Like bring the seam together, put the tape on it. Oh man, underoos. Let's get back there. Yes.
Underoos.
Oh
Yes,
my
I
goodness.
I knew you did.
It was so
I could feel
empowering. How dare you?
I
My
could feel it.
underoos were so empowering. I am Batman.
No, you're not.
See, I can't. I'm just I got a good voice, but it's okay.
I am Batman.
He's always trying to show me up. I mean,
Listen, this
it
is the
what
only
it
thing
is.
I got. Let me have it.
You got a lot. You got a lot, brother. And again, we are the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show. We're having such a good time. We love being here. We want to keep creating content for you. And speaking of his voiceovers, we're gonna play a little small commercial. I am a DJ, and I'm also starting an insurance agency to help finance this, because this is really what I want to do. So eventually I'll be getting out more information on the insurance. Right now, currently, I am, Mojo Entertainment and DJ, which is Mojo. Where are you? We got to get our mascot. Where's our mascot?
He's laying over here by my foot.
Mojo, come.
Mojo, come on.
He
comes.
Okay, here he comes.
Here he comes.
And we're gonna
Come on,
celebrate Mojo. Come here,
You
Mojo.
call him. I don't need him
No,
jumping up over
you
here.
you can
No,
love him. We just need to see him.
Come
Come
on.
here, Mojo.
Oh, hold on. He's stretching.
Oh, he's
stretching.
the white lion.
There
Come
he
here.
is. He's a
Come
freaking
here.
bear is what he is. Oh, easy. Oh,
Oh, he's my
oh,
Yeti.
there he goes.
He is my Yeti. And we want to give him kibble. He's expensive to feed, folks. Please help. Go to our Patreon and pledge whatever you can. Do a monthly subscription. Like I said, this is we've had a test show before. This is actually our first official show, and we will be doing more shows, but we do need a little funding to do so. So please help where you can. If you can, please tell your friends about this show, and give us comments on YouTube at the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show. Just look it up. We don't have very much up there right now, but we're going to continue once again to make
We're getting
content.
there. We're getting there.
We're getting there. There's a lot of work to do. And once again, when you're the only guy doing all the audio, the video, the setup, the wiring, all this, it takes a while, man. But we're getting close to being able to be turnkey. And we need your help to keep this up. So once again, first of all, we are going to celebrate Mojo, because he is our wonderful mascot. We love him. His hair goes everywhere, and he is as needy as any animal has ever been. So we're going to go ahead and listen to 5-0's great voiceover. This is our sponsor. Thank you so much.
The Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show, brought to you by Secure Future Insurance and Mojo Entertainment and DJ Service.
All right, folks, we're going to go ahead
The news worth watching.
and watch the news.
Are the elite and the puppet politicians trying to create a new world order?
What about all these aliens and their space garbage?
Rise up! Stand together and survive!
All right, folks, our news specialist is 5-0. He's going to be always, taking care of some of the current events and stuff like that. And we just had a changing of the guard at Disney.
That we did. As of last night, Bob Chapek is out, and Bob Iger, who retired just less than a year ago, is back in. So this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. I am a big Disney fan. I went back in the 80s.
They screwed up some Star Wars episodes, though. I mean, some movies, but we won't go there, will we? Yes, we will.
If you've been back to any of the theme parks since then, they have one phenomenal area dedicated to Star Wars, and it is unbelievable. It really is.
I know you sent me like so many pictures of it, and honestly, super jelly.
It was
super jelly.
Very, very intricately themed. It was just fantastic to the point. But I've been going to Disney parks since the 80s. I've taken my kids several times to the Disney parks, both Land and World. World is in Florida. Land is in California, for those of you who aren't aware. But over the last couple of years, social media and media itself, we've seen a lot of comments from park goers who have been less than thrilled with some of the Disney magic that's going on. You've had a lot of attractions break down. You've had a lot of things that were just unkempt, and it basically came to a head with the Ron DeSantis thing. So Ron DeSantis is trying
and obviously that's why Bob Iger is back.
And it is, and that's where we're going with this ultimately. But it was a situation where Ron DeSantis is trying to pass some sort of legislation, and forgive me, folks, I'm not terribly familiar with the legislation, but it's a "Don't Say Gay" legislation. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with it. I can't speak on it, but Disney pushed back against DeSantis, and there's been quite a rift between Florida and DeSantis particularly and Disney. In the wake of this, with everything else that's going on with the dilapidation basically of the parks, Disney has decided that Chapek is no longer going to be in charge. They asked Iger to come back. Iger was CEO for quite a while. He retired in February of 2020, but he stayed on the board as executive chairman. He did finally retire from that position December of 2021, but they've since asked him to come back out of retirement and take over that spot that Chapek held.
I wonder what his severance package was. I want it.
I cannot.
What was his golden parachute? I mean,
what this guy is worth. So if any of you know Iger, before that he was a television icon. He was a CEO for oh my gosh, I cannot remember for the life of me. ABC. It was I believe it was ABC that he was the CEO of before he came to the Disney company. And once he came to the Disney company, everything seemed to uplift. The market went up, stock shares went up, the quality of the parks went up.
And he was in charge when they took the acquisition of Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah, he was the one who made that happen with George Lucas, yes.
Right.
So he and the collaboration between he and Lucas was what led to the Star Wars themed area in the Disney parks. And it's nothing short of phenomenal. If you haven't been to see it, it's nothing short of phenomenal.
Super jelly.
Yeah. And
I'm a San Diego born and raised person, and I used to go there, at least every other year. And sometimes when I worked out there and had to stay out there, I would go there. There was a time where I went there like 15 times in 1 year. So having access to that park, I have got stories about amusement parks. But we'll get into we'll get into that.
I can't wait.
I have some hilarious stories about some amusement parks, but I do miss that about being on the West Coast and being able to access that so easily. But it's nice that your family got to go out there and enjoy it. And I'm thankful that you sent me all these cool pictures.
It
was really, really cool, man.
So you were asking about a severance package, and I don't know about a severance package, but I will tell you that in 2019, Forbes reported his net worth was $690 million. Now, if I had $1 for every dollar Bob Iger had,
you'd have $690 million.
You're not
Am
wrong.
I correct?
You're real
Oh,
close.
my God,
Yeah,
my
you're
math
right.
is solid. Solid math. Solid math.
But folks, again, this is something that just took place yesterday. This is I think this is going to be a very good transition for the Disney company, and I think anybody who's a Disney fan is going to see quite an uptick in the quality, not only of the parks but of other Disney products, the movies, the shows, and things that they put out.
And we're going to get
think this is
into
good.
some of the shows, the stuff that's on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Like The
Yeah,
Mandalorian, Endor, all those, Boba Fett, all these. Listen, and we'll talk about the franchise and how some people thought it was going, astray and wasn't what it should have been. And I'm part of that. I mean, but I'm older, and I was there as a child in 1977 when The New Hope came out. So I get that nostalgic connection to it, but they brought back a really strong showing with Disney Plus that got people like myself that were kind of like, maybe the franchise isn't for me anymore. I mean, I like the movies well enough, but they didn't connect with me as much as I wish they would. But I'll tell you, man, The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and I have not seen Endor yet, so I cannot comment.
Oh, no?
But I have been told it's wonderful. So I will get into that. And again, folks, we are the Troglodyte and 5-0 Spaceship Basement Show. We are on the wonderful YouTube, the tube of the Ube. And again, we're going to get some more information, and we're going to talk to you about how we put the show together, the equipment we use, and a lot of trials and tribulations even to get it to where it's at right now. So just a lot of exciting things coming in the future. I've got a great partner, and I'm so proud of him being a law enforcement officer and dealing with all the bullshit he has to deal with. And, again, not everyone's perfect in any job, but I know his heart, I know his head, and I hear his stories, day in and day out about what he has to go through. And I think the other side of America that is not as, informed about the truity of what it is to be a law enforcement officer and what they have to go through. I think we're going to do our job to try to educate you as to how important it is to be kind to everyone, even police officers and law enforcement. It's a good life. Be good to each other. Subscribe, tell your friends, and please come visit our show again. Mojo needs kibble.